So I reached out over Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube to find out what people wanted to let you know about, question, all that kind of stuff. And I've compiled a list of much as I can, and we'll try and get as much of this answered as possible. Graphical update. So the first category is future of Tarkov. So the graphical update, is that still happening?
Yes, partially at least. So there are the things ongoing regarding the whole overhaul of graphic, of visuals, but I'm not sure it will be fast because we're already making something for I think 2 years, but it's pretty slow because we routing the power of people to something more important right now.
Yep.
So yes, it's planned. I don't know what exactly it will be, but it's planned. Yes.
Is Russia 2028 still on the table? Or is it?
It's still frozen at the state of pre-production.
Okay. But is it still something that you're considering?
Yeah, of course.
Is there any new guns coming to Tarkov
New guns.
besides the one you showed in Tarkov TV? People always have this question.
It's always that question about guns.
There's a lot. In the future, can we smoke cigarettes in Tarkov?
Yes.
Okay. What about the option to heal teammates?
It's also planned, but not in high priority.
So, I know you said that you didn't want to do any microtransactions in the future. There are a lot of people that are adamant that they want skins within Tarkov, being either gloves, guns, character skins, all that kind of options. Is that something you would consider?
We have skins already. You could
The
buy.
clothing ones,
Yes.
the pants and shirts, but I think they want more. They want ways to more customize their appearance, so they've got more of an identity within Tarkov.
Oh, I don't know. Personally, I'm still kind of nervous about adding anything related. So
Microtransactions.
microtransaction and everything. So I decided just to keep it. Maybe we'll add something in terms of customization after the release. Because right now, all we focused right now is the release, and yeah.
Okay, there was an idea that I thought was kind of interesting. Would you be open to the idea of a classic Tarkov? So what that is you would release you know how like this classic WoW? So you'd bring back old customs and factory and everything with the old game and just let people play it again at some point. Like an old build. Impossible?
It's possible, but it will require a lot of work, because all of the architecture within the game and the server will changed many times. And it's not like just release the old version. It means that we need to release the old version, the old backend, the old servers. So we'll need to create the whole instance of the game in the past with all the bugs, with all the stuff over there. So for example, if we will have we can imagine that we can have the early version of EFT with early location, etc. It was not meant to have a lot of players, right? Like right now, and it means that it will be super limited. And after that, some of you guys will say okay, just limit it for 1,000 people. No, it won't work like this. It still will require the whole infrastructure of that. It will cost a lot of power, a lot of time, a lot of testing, and we are on the release plans right now. So we are basically, it's not that simple, but we actually saved like in a good technical way the factory location, the old one. So the factory location can be released and played, not with the click of the button, but we can do it. So at least factory location will be available at least as an event or something in the future.
Cool. Sounds good. Very broad question. Where do you see the game in 5 years? Like, what would be the ultimate vision of Tarkov in 5 years?
Sustainable process, DLCs, updates. I think something like we have now, but not that big patches and not that big updates, but something good, sustainable, solid in terms of updates for 5 or 10 years more.
With 1.0, what is the expected game loop? So when you're playing the game, what are you expecting for people to do?
The
Without
main
giving away spoilers, of course.
the main loop is storyline quests. The main storyline quest, you need to escape from Tarkov. So that's the loop, and that quest will have everything, almost everything that you can do in Escape from Tarkov. So you'll definitely need to complete all of the stuff if you want a good ending. After that, you will be able to start the prestige, next level prestige, and start playing it again. So that's the loop.
Is there the option coming up that you'll be able to customize your player? I know I touched on this before, but you know, like from changing skin colors to nose sizes to eye color, all those kind of things.
It's not planned because, again, I know that's a good feature, like a standard for MMORPGs, for example, or anything else, but it's just a matter of priorities, I guess, right now. So it's not planned, and unfortunately, I think it won't be. But there's a quite high chance that when we will be free, at least of part of our plans of the release process right now, we'll be able to sneak something in, like face customization or something else. Maybe even the voice customization. You know, like the AI things right now, they're doing their job, and we can actually have some kind of AI voice customization or something.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, it's not a priority, but it's a good thing at least.
One person said, could you add a hammer? Add a hammer to Escape from Tarkov, like a claw hammer. Seeing that you've got all the other tools from bolts, nails, screws, everything, but you're missing hammers. The only hammer you've got is a sledgehammer.
You mean the hammer? The hammer as a item, as a barter item?
Yeah, just a normal barter item hammer. There we go. I told you, I read everyone's comments. There was a lot.
Okay.
I've tried to categorize them in things. So,
I never.
Yeah. Sorry.
About the hammer, I never thought about it in hammer, but I don't know. We can add hammer, but sometime later.
Will you have the ability to switch directly from Tarkov to Arena and back to Tarkov without closing the game?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. That's all I had for the future of the game. People want to know what your idea of, and this is the next category, is wipe, early wipe progression. How do you see a wipe playing out at the moment? Because when we played the most recent wipe, it felt like the early wipe progression was over very quickly. And how do you foresee the future of a wipe, and what would your ideal early wipe be and progression?
I remember that I already mentioned that the last wipe it is fast because the arena and stuff, you can actually level pretty fast with the arena and everything. So the ideal wipe, of course, for me, it's way slower start. So that's why the next wipe we will change the progression phases and we will change the income from arena for sure, and also there will be some changes to flea market. So we won't be able to sell easily, at least things that you bought from traders to flea market. That is actually also kind of will slow the progress of the player. And yeah, maybe something else, but of course it must be slower. We did it right now just to have the flow to arena, you know, like to highlight it somehow with this kind of case. So yeah, but we will change it for sure.
Okay, this one's been talked about to death, but I thought there were some interesting points. People want to know more about the cheating situation. Are you getting control on it? I'll let you say whatever you want first, and then I'll bring up a couple of points.
That's as always, it's the same, almost the same process every day. Because we the whole system, ours and Pestily, it works like we cover, we close some kind of cheat, another cheat pops up, and that's the process for years. So basically, it's all about they try to find some kind of routes to get into the game. We block it or something else. So basically, it's the ongoing process, and actually didn't change at all. Like we thought about some more invasive anti-cheats, but I think Windows kind of blocked the whole subsystem of them. I'm not sure about it, Maybe it's not right actually, but something is not right with them to have more invasive anti-cheat. So you can have invasive cheat because basically you can do whatever the hell you want, but you cannot have authorized super invasive anti-cheat or something. Maybe I'm wrong actually, I don't know. But again, we are searching, looking at the different solutions every month, I guess, on a monthly basis. Like we have these calls about everything regarding anti-cheat. So yeah, something like this.
There was a couple of points I thought were really interesting. Could you add invisible PMCs to the raid that would make it so when the people are cheating, they might accidentally shoot an invisible player, and then you would know that they're cheating? So, like you know a honeypot, like how you can put a honeypot in the game, like loot that's only accessible if you've got cheats. People are saying if you added invisible PMCs to the raid, some people's cheats would target that player that doesn't actually exist, and then if they kill that player, then you know they're cheating. I thought it was an interesting idea.
I know what you mean. We have a lot of these things. We have a lot of the things catching cheaters, like more than 30 different kind of things like you described.
Kill cams. The kill cams over from Arena, is anything like that able to come across to Tarkov?
So the kill cams, it's an ongoing process. I hope we will have them in the release. Well, like something I described, you will have this delayed
The camera footage.
Yeah, like it will be right after the raid, or with a slight delay you will get it, but it requires a lot of work in the EFT. So that's why we're doing it, but it's not that fast.
And someone brought up making it that people have to have memory integrity enabled on Windows. Do you know anything about that? This is not above my pay grade. It's above my pay grade, I mean, but it's apparently more invasive, but it would mean that it would affect people's performance. I think it's what you were touching on before.
I can't tell anything about it. I need to check.
Okay, I can send you that in a message later.
Mm-hmm.
People complaining about the neck/throat hitbox and it needing more protection or a smaller hitbox.
I remember that I actually have had a comment on that, and I actually even said something about it, like maybe decrease it or increase another hitbox that's near it or something. I need to check.
Okay. The prestige system. A lot of people want to know how it's going to work. Will you keep anything when you prestige?
You will know, guys. Basically, you will know. There will be the whole information about it later. And yeah, there's a lot of things in there that actually will be pretty interesting. So you will know.
Okay. And I think initially you said you couldn't do it on PVE, but is it something you would consider to help fix the economy on PVE? Because the economy on PVE is getting crazy, like insane, and it would give a money sink to help prevent the economy just getting even more and more crazy.
Okay, well, we'll think about it.
Okay. The skill system in Escape From Tarkov, people want to be able to level up their skills faster, particularly with a wipe like this current one, being so short, and people want to be able to level up and have a chance to get skills higher. Could you potentially, for a wipe, just test out increasing the rate in which people level their skills, or maybe reducing the diminishing returns for a wipe just to see how it goes as like a test?
I don't know. Maybe we can do it for PvE, for example. I'm not sure about PvP. I don't know, because it's always the same thing. Somebody's saying like it's too fast. Somebody's saying it's too slow. Somebody's saying it's too good. Somebody says like it's really bad, and it's always like the same thing.
Now, next category is optimization. Multi-threaded / multi-core optimization, along with AI performance improvements, as that's the main FPS limiting factor at the end of the day. The more AI you have loaded into a map means you have less frames for the user, regardless if it's on the BSG servers or local. Is there plans on how you're going to help make it so particularly low-end PCs can play maps like Streets of Tarkov and Lighthouse?
Yes, it's ongoing. It's a big ongoing problem for that, because I always about that. I'll tell guys like we need to optimize streets more. We need to make it playable, but we stuck. At some point, we stuck with these limitations of the engine, and basically the location itself is too complicated, too big. So I even thought that we should split it on 2 locations, city 1, city 2. I don't know, something, and maybe it will run better. So it's still questionable thing. We're waiting for a lot of things still ongoing in terms of optimization, in terms of this management of these big locations. So I think we still have time for the release, and I guess we will figure something out about it. Yeah, but the thing that, like, it's pretty obvious when you in PVE, for example, when you play on the server, it's easier than you play to play it single player. It's because of these instances, right? So it's not even about the AI part. It's more about the networking, AI, and the computation of everything. It's on your local machine, so that's why your load increases drastically, because all of that is being computed. Yes, on the.
I'm just as bad. I can't talk.
That's well, it's early morning, not early, but for me it's early, and it's always hard for me to stop.
No, you do well, mate. You do well.
Okay. So yeah, it's a technical limitation. If we had a
will
chance,
the new Unity help?
I don't know. Like the Unity and this new engine, it has something to do with it, but still, we're not quite sure that it will help in that case. So and we can't change the basis of the game, because this is how the game was designed and made a long time ago. And if we had a chance to change it and start all over again, of course, it will be pretty clear how to do it properly. But right now, we try to fix it on the go without crashing everything. So that's a kind of hard thing. But we will try. Because, yeah, one of the most iconic maps is they are. It's actually not playable, but it's pretty hard to play on the low end PCs.
Are you thinking about adding frame generation and DLS 3.0 in the future?
I don't know. I need to check.
Was the zombie event a test for server capabilities with more AI?
Of course, it was a test, and it was a test not only for the hardware and software. It was a test for us as a team. Is it possible for us to make something good in terms of events in only in 2 months? So it was a general test of everything, and the initial concept of zombie mode, it was even more complex. It was actually like a game, but still we decided to manage and sneak in something impossible for us. So we basically tested the ability to have a lot of instances, and it was pretty new kind of stuff. It was optimized instance for the networking, and we cannot use it for PMCs, for example, because PMC or SCAF, it has a lot of information, has a lot of things on him, inventory, for example, and everything. So we cut off everything and created those simplified instances that actually allowed us to have pretty big amount on the server. But I remember that we had a lot of issues with that on the early testing of the zombie mode, that the game literally didn't allow us to have more than 40 instances on the location, no matter what. So we started to make some kind of
backend changes.
Not like only the backend changes, it's like the changes within, like
workarounds.
Yeah, workarounds, and it was of course every single workaround, if it's dirty, then it produces a lot of things in the game, especially bugs and things. But the result is good. It's not perfect, but it's good. And if you think that it was done only for 2 months, the whole thing, it's pretty good work. Actually, I never saw that somebody did that amount of work in such short occasion.
I think it was very polarizing, the event, as in some people completely hated it, but I did a few polls over a period of time, and majority of people actually really did enjoy it, and they said it was the best event you've ever done. I'd say it was probably like 4 in 5 people loved it, and that last 20% hated it. I think it was people that were newer to the game and just didn't know how to get gear or
it was hard.
It was hard. Actually, it was definitely hard.
It was hard, and it was it was long for it was too long. So basically, we can actually shorten it up a little because we didn't know how it will be, and because of this ongoing and constant pressure of the zombie hordes, it was pretty hard even for old timers, even for the veterans. But
Yeah.
it actually showed us that, like finally, we had a game mode where people can use shotguns, like hollow point ammunition, magazines with a lot of ammo and stuff. So we finally utilized that, and of course, people noticed that, and most of them loved the event, and they asked like if you can somehow keep the zombies, because it's a good thing that it actually kind of fit in the lore of the game too. So it's sci-fi, of course, element, let's say it like this, but it actually it went pretty smooth in terms of the lore and everything, like all the experiments, blah blah blah, terror group. So it was kind of cool, and it actually also proves us that our world, EFT world, is sustainable and pretty livable by itself. So it and actually opened a lot of doors to have more of these ideas. I mean, not like this, like not like aliens or something, but to create something that could actually. So we already have something in our minds, like different game modes that will let's say all of the extraction game mode that was created by me, and it is pretty cool. Everybody's enjoyed this, and in general, there is a lot of games about extraction shooters. But right now, I'm thinking about new game mode, which is also kind of it may be interesting. It may be even start another wave of this, not like subgenre, but something around it. So all of these tests, all of these events, all of this like struggling basically for the whole 10 years, it actually added a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of foreseen moments that we actually use and make something new. Because one of the reasons we are going right now, we are preparing the release and everything. We want to make something new, and we want to make something that will be based off our experience and our suffering. So you guys are suffering in the game. We are suffering on development. So it's all about suffering, and all we need, you and us as developers, is to utilize this force of suffering and transform it into the happiness or something that will give you happiness.
Fulfillment.
Yeah, so fulfillment, remorse, you can call it, but that's pretty important thing. Otherwise, it's no point to go on. Basically, no point. If the point was to have money or something, it's not the point. It's not the point. That's why I continue to think about it and continue to moving forward, because I can basically stop in any way, because I have a really good team. They are good in every case, and yeah, but still, we're going and thinking about making something interesting within Escape from Tarkov for sure.
That's sick. I'm excited to hear about it. The next category I have is maps, bosses, and AI. There was a lot of things that were kind of in this category. A lot of discussion about boss spawn rates. There was a lot of comments about how at the start of a wipe, the spawn rates are too low and it's being painful. A few solutions that could help alleviate some of the pain, besides just increasing their spawn rates if you do want to have the spawn rates lower. Map modifiers. This is a really interesting concept. I think it's been borrowed from Path of Exile, maybe Diablo, where for a certain period of time, each map would have increased boss spawn chances or extra loot. So maybe like, every day it rotates from a different map and we'd know which map it is, and the boss could be 100% spawn rate or 50%. It's just an increased spawn rate or even a chance to have better loot or any sort of option like that.
I think we planned something like this, to have this roaming bosses or something. Not roaming, increased chance of them on the locations. Yeah, I think we planned something. So the thing is that I will explain it. So there is as I mentioned many times, we are preparing the release. What does that mean? We are making the functionality, the main functionality for the storyline quest, and we are wrapping everything interesting that we still
Building towards
making.
1.0.
Yeah,
So you're actually going to have it in 1.0, not before.
yeah, because we need to build the mass. We need to build some kind of body for the patch. Let's say it like this. We need to have something new in it, because the release of the game, it's not that groundbreaking for the community. Everybody knows Escape from Tarkov. Everyone, basically. And it's not like people wait for the release. Like, generally speaking, I think not even all of you guys waiting for the release, because basically you can play the game and you think like, oh, release, what the hell it is. Basically, the release is some kind of finalizing everything that we did, adding the functionality to have this gameplay loop cycle, and add something new that we will not tell you about it before that. So at least, again, the concept is to have you surprised. It was always like this for 10 years. So we're preparing something, not like something, many things to get you surprised. Yeah. And that also means about the small additions, small features, small quality of life things. And of course, if I will tell anything about it, like, it won't be a surprise. But the general approach about the release patch is to have the game in the best state in the future. So we can also say it like this. So we have the game in best state. We had it in the best state. Vice versa, like it was better before, now it's better. Remember 6 years ago it was kind of shit. Right now it's good. Right now it's way better, but this aspect of the game is bad. We want to make everything good. It's not possible for us to make the perfect game, and you can blame us forever for that, in terms of cheats, in terms of optimization, in terms of different features, in terms that some modders made something better than us and we are full of shit. No fucking way. It doesn't work like this. So we will gather everything in that perspective that we plan to do, that we still try to do. We constantly gather the feedback from the player, from the community. Also, there's a huge list of different things that will be in the game in the release version. There is a huge list what will be after release, and there is a huge list that things that won't be in the game because they are too complex to make. They are non-needed. They will break the balance, because even if it's a big game, big complex game, the balance and the overall fragility. Can I say this? Fragile.
No, fragility is a word.
I'm not sure. Maybe I've invented it.
No, it's like how easily something is like can break.
Yeah, basically easy to break. All of this complex and fragility it's really hard to maintain, because, as I mentioned many times, if you put something in it, you can break something twice, basically. So that's why we're building that list, we're building that progress towards the release, and that's why a lot of things are concealed intentionally for you, so you will have this element of surprise. Some of them won't be in the game, so yeah, that's the thing. So that's why this period of time, I guess, towards the release, we cannot consider it as something that will be, I don't know how to say it, like, it won't be like something big and big changes in the game before the release. So the release version will be something big. So that's why please don't be too hard on us in that term. So if you think that you should add this or that and you're still waiting for that, and we didn't add it in the nearest patch, it's not because we don't care, it's because we have plans that the plans are locked in. They are locked in for a year already, so we're working on that plans. It's not like this, oh, you need to just fix thing and it will be all right. It's not like this. We need to work by the plans. It's almost 300 people in the company. It's not a garage fucking development for a long time already. A lot of managers, a lot of people, and a lot of money involved. And then when the game will be released, I will reveal the budget for EFT. And you won't believe that if you still think that it's something that everyone can do. And not only you guys will understand it, but also all these big market players will see. They will easily multiply it by the rate of the country where the game is getting developed.
Yeah,
that's easy, and the budget will be something unexplainable for me even. And I'm just telling. It's not that easy, and hopefully, and I know that. So big part of you understand everything. Let's say, I don't know, 40%. It's a big part. They understand how things are being done. They know how to work, what's the job is, how the salary being made, and what's the basic principle of responsibility and everything. So it's the same thing here. And we are quite believe in the concept that we do something that actually made our world a little bit of better place, and we will continue to do that. But unfortunately, it's not the ideal thing that could be made. It's pretty hard for us to maintain the level of balance and quality, and make it playable and realistic and suitable for everyone, and easy to progress and hard to progress and hardcore and not hardcore at the same moment. And because all the veterans, like 10 years veteran, 8 years, 7 years veteran, they're all about like, we completed the cycle, we completed the wipe so many times, and of course we need to have something new in it. And we think that the wipe is too fast or too slow. And imagine the new player who got in and he sees a horde of zombies. The first time
very confusing.
He got killed. Not like his friend said to him, like, you should go play EFT. He buys Unheard Edition. Yes, and he tries to play the game, and the zombies rip them off every single time. It's not a head dice even. It's like zombies. And he was like, what the hell is going on here? And I have so many stories, actually. I don't know, maybe I will have more time, and I will tell you about like people, pretty unexpected people. They play EFT for hours. Like people, well-known people, they actually saying like, don't tell anyone that I play EFT.
But the point, going back to the point though, is you've got locked in what you want 1.0 to look like, and you're making sure that when it goes from patch, what do you got, 15 at the moment, so if with next one 16 and say 1.0 is after that, you don't want it to feel like, oh, it's just patch 0.17 and it's been relabeled 1.0. You want it to actually feel like there's enough substance that it's an exciting time, and not just, oh, it's just really the next patch.
I want this thing to be as a celebration.
Yeah.
Not like something groundbreaking, explosive, release. Millions of dollars to the marketing, millions of dollars to the different things. Guys, the games are made like this. And the budget, game developers' budget is pretty big. But also, usually publishers use the same amount of budget for the marketing, for all this promo stuff, and et cetera, et cetera. We use a lot too to this events. That's actually a pretty good thing. But we don't plan to use a lot of money to the release marketing, because we want to have this as a graduation. Let's say it like this.
Yeah.
Something that will say and prove that our history, EFT, is more than just a game. It's more than just the process of creating it. Our players is more than just the players. Our influencers, they're more just an influencer. They actually spread the word. They spread this energy through all of us. And it's not that simple. And the lore of the game, what's going on inside of the game, it's not just a simple lore. It's a representation, it's a livable world we want to live in or not. We want to achieve something in it. We actually spend our time, put a lot of effort in it, and receive a lot of things. Also, I'm not talking about money and everything. I'm talking about the emotions and the dopamine you will get.
Yep.
And that will make you a little bit happier, I guess, or frustrated, but at least you'll feel yourself alive. So that's the concept. And we don't want to prove everyone that concept. We don't want to prove it. We just want to show people who know about the game, about this long journey, and we just want to have a present for them that, okay, it's completed. We you
want to celebrate the actual release.
Yeah, and we want to celebrate it,
yeah.
But like politely, intelligently, without this, something that will go like really, how to say it, like when it goes like way too expressive. We don't want to do that. We want to make it somehow intelligent and beautiful.
Makes sense. I'm being cognizant of your time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and just read out the ones that are more simple answers. And then what I might do is I'll send the rest via a message to you. And when you've got some spare time, you can write your replies to me. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Do you have any plans to rework Lighthouse?
Yes. So we thought about it. So I really wanted to have additional area to be there. But the thing is, it's so
narrow
and dense in terms of, so basically this location packed right to the side of the reserve location. We don't have an area to add. I even thought about maybe we should dry the ocean, the sea, a little, and it will reveal additional land or some laboratories or something. And you will say, that's a fucking great idea. You should do it. But I don't know, that's too much. Because otherwise, if we will decide to dry the level of the sea, we need to dry it on the shoreline location too. And that's a lot of job. So right now, we are working on the customs, reiteration, redesign, and of course, final location.
Yep.
And actually, it's almost done. It doesn't mean that you will see it. Final location is for the release only. So you will see it on the release.
Could you add some more AI to dead areas of maps?
Yes. I don't see the problem for that. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Factory lighting. It's really dark. I understand what you're trying to get out of it. It's immersive. It's cool, but it's really friggin' hard to play now. Like, it's so easy to hide in some weird corner of shadow and darkness and just kill someone. But it's hard to move around. Like, the underground makes sense, but could we brighten up upstairs, like in the actual main area? Because yeah, it's actually really dark.
Okay, I will check on it with the guys. Because yeah, I saw that like it's way too dark at some point, but I don't know. We'll think about it.
Can we increase the loot on ground zero for the level 21 plus, and also add weapon cases back to the marked room?
I also will check on it. Because there's a thing that I don't know everything about the game, right? For a long time already. So I have a lot of people who's on the different kind of decisions. So I will check on it.
There's a lot of people wanting to emphasize on using the survey within the game to ask us more questions regarding the game flow. So, you could ask us questions every week and people would be happy to answer them. And then that way you get an idea of how the community feels about stuff. You've done them after events and asked how the event went, which was great. But simple stuff like, do you like the amount of loot currently on Lighthouse? Or would you like the boss spawn rates increased?
Actually, I have a proposition for you guys. Proposition. So we have the polls in the game, and we really want to use them more and more and more. And for some reason, I usually have questions to put into that poll. But so I have a proposition for you guys. Let's make a short list of the questions that you guys want to see in the poll for the whole audience.
Yep.
And that will be pretty good, because it will also spread the light for your concerns, like, and the things that you want to know from the community as a community. So let's have this, and like we can make these questions from you, and we will get into this poll system, several polls, I don't know, one per week or one after another, and see the results.
I could definitely compile from this list I've got. I could compile questions. Could you make the results public? Like after the poll's finished, just post it to Twitter or wherever you want to post it? Yeah, that'd be really cool, because people would love. Yeah. I think people would love to see the feedback.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. A lot of people have. How do I explain this? After about 2 weeks into the wipe, people feel like the maps are really dead, and a large amount of that is because of suppressors. Can we make suppressors either rarer or only quiet when they're using subsonic ammo, or like just a rework on suppressors in general? Because I think when you hear people shooting, you know there's someone over there. For the people wanting PvP, they can run over to it. For the people wanting to hide, they can go, I don't want to go over there, there's people shooting. And I think it would make the lobbies feel less dead if you could hear more people shooting. But at the moment, most of the meta weapons are using suppressors. And so yeah, I'll put emphasis on that. I'm trying to skim through this list, because you said you only had 45 minutes to an hour, and we're getting already there. And I'll like I said, I'll send through this.
Yeah, you can send me. I will send it to my guys at the LC.
Did you make a recoil change last wipe?
What?
Did you change the recoil at all last wipe?
No.
Because people, there was debates over it.
It's always like this. It's like that moment when they showed this slightly changed rotational force. Rotational. It's not even up down. It's like rotational things in the recoil, and they said like, "Oh my god, remove it! Oh my god!" I remember that.
One of the solutions for boss spawn rates, because I think a lot of people get really frustrated at running a map over and over again, was to actually remove the boss killing quest from the Kappa. So if you could remove those ones from the app, from actually getting the Kappa container, and then it would be focused on you kill the bosses for achievements, because you've got the 1 kill, the 15 kill, and then obviously killers 100 kills. Those are there, and you still have the quest in the game, but you wouldn't be required to, like, people wouldn't be forced to farm bosses over and over again to get the Kappa container, which would stop that funnel of people constantly farming bosses to get their Kappa container. Because what happens is later in the wipe, you have like 4 or 5 people a raid, literally just sprinting to boss spawns to try and get their kills. And then they're gambling with the spawn rate of bosses. And I just thought this was an interesting take on how to, if people want to kill bosses, get achievements, and have the fun fight, they can. But it's not forcing people to do the kills to get the Kappa. I'll leave that with you. You can have a think about it.
Okay.
A lot of people want to be able to pack mags without having the menu open. They want to start the pack and then be able to look around. If you could add this, I'm up to quality of life, by the way. Automatically sorting items into containers. So like when you press sort, it will put all the money into money cases, etc. So being able to search the stash would be a really cool addition. These are mostly additions that they'd like to see, quality of life stuff. The ability to use the traders / hideout while loading into a raid, is that coming? You've already added the ability to sell on the flea market and sort your stash, which I love, by the way. What about and hideout crafting?
Hideout, it will be pretty hard because we are unloading scene, as I believe, and it will be pretty hard for us. But about trading, I will ask.
What's coming in the hideout? Do we know? Is there anything? Because there's still a couple of spots left, or is that for 1.0 and we're not allowed to know?
You'll see. Something is coming.
Hideout cat or dog or pet?
Cat. but it's planned. I'm not sure about when it will be, but it will be.
A really interesting one was when you do a craft in the hideout, say you need pliers to make the craft, it will take it from your junk box and then put it in your stash. Could we have a spot in the hideout where we can place all our tools and they stay there, and then for every craft, they just stay in the tool rack?
I got the concept. Okay.
Okay. And then just a notification for when you finish using a water filter. So when you're using the water filter to make the super water, you constantly, it runs out and you don't even know it ran out. And just any sort of notification pop up would be nice. There's a lot of questions about PVE. How much is the dev focus on PVE?
It's not that much right now.
Okay. Could we make it that the PMC stops spawning next to bosses at the start of a raid and then instantly killing the bosses? If you load into a PVE raid, you'll hear instantly as soon as you spawn in, the boss is shooting with someone, and then it's like the boss is dead. So you don't even get a chance to kill them.
I see.
This is be better answered in person. So does the amount of people playing PvE concern you? Are you trying to get more players back to PvP, or you don't mind either way?
I don't mind it. Of course, I like that it's something around 50 by 50, and let it stay like this. If people will play more PvE than PvP, actually it depends on the vibe, on the start of the vibe. Usually at the start of the vibe, almost all of the people plays PvP. Then towards the end of the vibe, they switch to PvE or something. So I don't mind. I don't mind it. I like if it actually increases the online counts and the overall like engagement of the people. I think it's good.
Are you going to add ref to the PvE?
We have plans for that, as far as I know.
Could you add the option to pick between local and BSG servers for PvE? So people on low end PCs would rather play on the BSG servers.
I see.
And people with good computers are happy to play at local.
I need to check on it.
I think that would be a big one for a lot of people if there was a takeaway from the PvE section of my questions. Another one for PvE was to remove the ping limit for PvE so people could play with their friends around the world. And the rest of them I'll send through to you in a message. I actually don't have a lot more to go, so just to let you know. Achievements. So the event achievements. Are you planning to do when there's an event achievement, are you planning to redo that event so people can get that achievement? Or can they be moved to their own tab so people can 100% complete Escape from Tarkov?
I don't know. We need to think about it. Just we thought that it would be so like a really limited achievement that you won't be able to have if the event is gone. But we'll think about it. Maybe we'll do something about it.
The way World of Warcraft has done it is if you can't get the achievement ever again, it gets moved to like its own thing, and it's called a feat of strength. And it's like you were there, you did the cool thing, you can show it off, but it's not stopping you from 100% completing the game.
I see.
Are you still planning to have hardcore accounts?
Yes.
What can you tell us about that?
Not much.
Okay.
It's still in the designs, actually.
Okay. You actually touched on AI voice line, so I don't have to do that. Could you add a zombie option to offline raids? So not PvE, but offline.
That's quite a challenge because we actually, it's not like it is in game. We rolled it back, basically, so it's not like that simple to add it. But it's possible maybe for the future, I think.
Mobile app for Hideout and Flea. Is there still a concept for that going forward?
Yes, we still have a concept. We have even the prototype working, but for some reason we are not forcing it.
All right. The last two things I have is there is 2 tasks that are currently broken in the game, called Getting Acquainted and Make Amends. It's for Lightkeeper. And if you are on this quest on PvE or PvP, I believe, but definitely PvE, you cannot. The quest has been bugged for about 2 patches. Can we get that fixed? Because a lot of people want to It's the one to get the flash draw, the beacon, the butt plug thing, the beeps to go onto Lightkeeper. It's the quest to get that. It's broken, and that needs to be fixed so people can get Lightkeeper. And then the other big one, there was a fair bit of discussion about this, and I left it for last for a reason. The syncing between Arena and Tarkov is obviously a big thing, but it's a driving factor to make people want to play Arena. But the problem is, if you're going to lose rep or game progression because of that, it's going to scare people from ever wanting to touch Arena. And there's a fair few people that are this wipe have lost either a large amount of rep or quest progression. And is there a way to, like, people can get that fixed? Because some people's reps got tanked so much that they had to reset their accounts. You know,
that's like to fix it, it will require. So basically, it's almost impossible to fix it. We need to, I don't know, to have something like that backed up the profiles or something. And it actually doesn't matter because we will have a vibe pretty soon. So
yeah,
I think
I'm just trying to emphasize the fact that if the syncing's going to continue, these bugs are. If I was playing Escape from Tarkov, even with how much I play this game, and my rep got tanked to the point where I couldn't use a trader, or my quest got rolled back so far that like I pretty much am just going to get demoralized from going for Kappa, like that would be game ending for me. And I play this game a lot. I think there'd be a lot of people out there that would really appreciate it. That I don't know how to word it in a nice way, but these bugs are game stopping for people, and they need to be addressed immediately or stopped, because yeah.
Well, most likely it won't happen again.
Okay. Look, there was a lot more to add to this, and I will send it through to you. And also some of the ones that'd be better off as a survey poll, and you can get feedback that way. I'll write it down in the list for you, so then you can have it that way as well. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I've got for now. And what we'll do is, like I said, I'll send it through all the questions I didn't get to ask. And when you got some time over the next week, if you could write them responses, that'd be great. And then I'll try and write some of them in polls, so that way you can release them over a couple of weeks and get feedback that way.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Thanks for the questions. I don't know what that. So yeah, the most likely will be the Tarkov TV, the New Year's Tarkov TV and everything. Yeah.
Do you have a wipe date in mind?
Uh-uh.
Say Thursday.
I don't know.
All right. Thanks so much, man. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you.